There's no doubt that the biggest controversy right now is the flat versus globe debate. It has caused people on both sides to take a hardline position on what they believe. Many friends have been lost, while others have been made. People have taken their debates to the various social media sites. Others seem to be dedicating every waking moment to debating in the comments sections for their positions. Through these interactions, it's clear that people have been so disconnected from their brothers and sisters that they have seemingly lost all manners and basic social interaction skills. The Flat Earth topic is the single most divisive mechanism that the truth community has ever seen. The question is, on what side do you stand?
According to dictionary.com, the definition of a belief is confidence in the truth or existence of something not immediately susceptible to rigorous proof. Therefore, when you take on a belief system, you are essentially no longer a truth seeker, and instead, you become a believer.
The difference between a truth seeker and a believer is very simple. A believer rejects any information that is contrary to their belief system and will even go so far as to defend their beliefs to the bitter end. A truth seeker is constantly looking for answers and considers all information without preference or bias.
While a truth seeker seeks to unravel the hidden mysteries, a believer seeks only to reaffirm his or her preconceived notions of reality. Those seeking truth throughout the centuries have shared certain thought patterns. These usually include a hypothesis or idea that differs from the accepted norm. They will seek information to either prove or disprove that hypothesis.
During this process, the outcome is irrelevant to these individuals. What is important is that they follow the truth wherever it may lead.
A believer is not interested in experimental science, nor are they interested in changing their views if proven to be wrong. They cannot be wrong, cannot be misperceiving a situation.
Whether their belief is taught by someone else or they cling to it on their own, they will deny any evidence that depletes or takes away from their rigid BS.
Cognitive dissonance prevents them from digesting any new information, and they are lost in their own circular patterns of reasoning.
This ultimately results in confusion, blame, and hostility towards anyone who threatens or challenges their belief system, as is the case on both sides of the Flat Earth versus Globe Earth debate.
Regardless of which side of the controversy you're on, until you detach yourself from your ego and emotions and consider the very real possibility that your hypothesis may be incorrect, you will simply be a believer and not a truth seeker.
Picture a rainbow. Ask not why. If you're watching this video, it's safe to assume that you are a truth seeker and not merely a believer. So obviously, you're here looking for the truth. But what is the truth? How far deep does the rabbit hole go?
Many people claim to have the truth, but few have actually defined it. According to Webster's dictionary, truth is defined as the real facts about something, the things that are true, the quality or state of being true, a statement or idea that is true or accepted as true. Now picture a rainbow. Ask not why.
As grammar dictates, the truth is comprised of not only the facts of the matter, but can also be the acceptance of something as true. Therefore, it is apparent that truth is not only objective, but also subjective in nature. Now picture a rainbow. You can clearly see the entire spectrum of colors in front of you. Or can you?
A person with color blindness has trouble seeing red, green, blue, or mixtures of these colors. The most common type is red-green color blindness, where red and green are seen as the same color.
Now imagine trying to explain the rainbow to an individual who simply cannot see the colors. Is it a moral failing on the part of the colorblind person? Or is the individual simply working with a different data set and interpreting reality in a different way? And what happens when the collective belief of the colors makes the colors true, even to someone who cannot process the data themselves?
Now imagine if the entire world was colorblind and you were one of the few who were able to see the colors. Would you succumb to the collective that the world is black and white? Would you go on a crusade to try to show the world the colors? Would you point your finger in their face and call them names because they refuse to see the truth?
So again, I ask you the question, what is truth? To the colorblind individual, the truth is that the reality is black and white. To you, reality is full of color. What has changed in this situation? It's only a matter of perspective. It's no doubt that the Flat Earth movement has been used as a psychological operation with the purpose of division. However, that does not discount the fact that it is based on truth.
Over 100 years ago, the Hawaiian Gazette published a story about a map that was made in the 10th century.
This newly discovered map is drawn on the principles of the Mercator projection, echoes the current accepted Flat Earth model, as well as the UN flag. However, there is one significant difference, and that is that our dome is surrounded by dozens of islands.
Reputed to be drawn by Chinese priests, the manuscript was hidden away from authorities for centuries. However, a letter found claims that the map was actually drawn by Buddhist priests much earlier in time.
The article goes on to read, "The map was found by my brother in a Japanese temple in the mountains of Japan," said Dr. Kobayashi. "It has been hidden from the Japanese government in modern times, just as it was in ancient times. For in olden days, such a map would have been destroyed by the authorities."
This begs the question, why would the authorities be so concerned about a map that they would destroy it?
So what is the truth about where we live? Do we live on a globe, flying through space? Do we live inside of a dome? Are we living on an endless plain? Or are there dozens of civilizations watching and waiting for us to remember who we are and where we come from? This is a sculpture of two giraffes. I don't think anyone watching this video will dispute that fact. You can clearly see one looking to the left, and you can clearly see one looking to the right. But what if somebody told you that they don't see two giraffes, that they see something else? Would you point out the body shape? Would you point out their necks? Would you point out the eyes, or maybe even the mouths? But what if they still couldn't see two giraffes? What if they kept insisting that they saw something else? Do they really see two giraffes, but they're just not admitting it because they want to fool you into believing that something else exists? This is a sculpture of an elephant. I don't think anybody watching this video will disagree that what we're looking at is clearly an elephant. Now, what if somebody couldn't see the elephant? Would you point out the tusks, the nose, the eyes? And what if they were still insistent that they don't see an elephant, they see something else? Would you believe that they have some kind of hidden agenda? That they're shilling for some hidden cause to make you doubt what you see in front of you? Because after all, you clearly see an elephant. Now anybody that doesn't see an elephant must be a shill, or a retard, or an absolute moron, because they simply don't see the elephant the same way that you do. They might, in fact, see two giraffes. So what exactly are we looking at? Are we looking at two giraffes? Or are we looking at an elephant? Those of you who saw the elephant took the journey to see the two giraffes. But those looking at the giraffes didn't take the journey to see the elephant. So now we're left with a very clear choice. Do we choose to see the elephant, or do we choose to see the giraffes? You must pick one. Take your pick and choose wisely. Regardless of what you've chosen, you're not seeing an elephant or two giraffes. The fact of the matter is that you're seeing an optical illusion. It's just a bunch of wires. It's neither an elephant nor is it a giraffe. But in actuality, it's an artificial construct meant to create an illusion depending on your perspective. However, if you were foolish enough to choose one or the other, then you're trapped in what's called a false dichotomy, also known as a false dilemma. You must choose A or B while completely ignoring all other possibilities. But the fact of the matter is that either choice is merely an illusion.
Either you're with us or you're with the enemy.